Do you have any strong moral convictions, like about climate change or about politics or anything like that?
Mine is more of focused on human behavior and how we treat each other. That's my biggest one.
Would you say people that don't treat each other well, is that wrong?
Yeah.
Okay, if someone other than you thought it was right, how would you resolve that disagreement?
I would let them understand that they're not hurting people, they're hurting themselves. Like they're reflecting themselves and showing why nobody wants to be around them. Because how you treat others shows how you love yourself.
Okay, now if they said, but I don't loving myself is not loving myself is okay, that's not wrong. Like how would you convince them it's wrong?
Uh, what I would say is then you have to work on yourself then, because if you're telling me that it's wrong to do that, then there's something morally wrong with you, and you need to understand that that's not how the world operates. If you're a bully and an asshole in this world, it just goes to show that you need other people to validate yourself, and that's what you're doing. You need to find some intrinsic validation.
Okay, so maybe we have common ground here. Would you agree that moral truths, like whether something is good or wrong, would you say that that is objectively true no matter what other people's opinions are?
Can you repeat that?
So, what you said, you talked about morality. Would moral
Okay.
truths, whether something is good or evil, right or wrong, would that be based on opinions or is it based on fact?
I'd say it's based on opinion.
Okay, so you had an opinion you just stated there to my hypothetical person objecting to you. So that's your
Yeah.
opinion, but if they have a different opinion, that's okay. Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah.
So you're okay with people having different opinions about whether you should treat people well.
Yeah, because if they're not going to listen, how might is what is it? Because that's their was it's something that they have to focus on. If I can't like if I nudge them, it's not going to do anything. It's a path that they have to take on their own.
Okay, then how could we have such a thing as justice if it's just opinion? Like, how do you have justice if there's only opinions? Like, you don't have justice on which ice cream tastes better. That's just opinion. So if you think morality is just opinion, is there such a thing as how do you enforce justice?
It sounds like you're twisting my words here because I didn't say because you're asking me if someone's doing something wrong and I told them to do it, but like but what you're leaving out is some ambiguous things about it, some nuances about it. That's what you're doing, and you're
So
elevating it
I asked you a
to a point.
question if morality was opinion or fact. You said opinion.
Yeah, and then you're trying to use that for justice, and I didn't say anything about justice.
But okay, here's then this is the question. Can you have justice if morality is only opinion?
Of course not.
Okay, so you step 1 you said morality is only opinion. Step 2 you said justice can't happen if morality is only opinion. Did I understand that right?
No.
Okay, let's start
So
over.
what you asked me is if somebody is acting in a way that's terrible, is it opinion that they think that way? That's what he asked me.
Yeah,
If it's that they think,
maybe I wasn't clear yet. Let me try again. Okay.
yeah,
So, I'm not talking about whether people believe it or not. That would be you can maybe use the word opinion. When I said opinion, I mean there's no truth
yeah,
independent of the subject. That's why we use the word objective. Does that make
yeah,
sense?
because yeah. So
Okay. So an objective fact would be dinosaur bones are real. A subjective fact is I think chocolate tastes better than vanilla. Do you understand the difference there?
yeah,
Okay. Are
yeah.
moral questions like the first one or like the second one?
Uh, let's go with the second one.
Okay. If it's the second one, can you still have justice? That was my question.
And are you trying to use that for subjective?
So, well, let me give you my how I'm understanding it. There is no justice on whether chocolate or vanilla tastes better because it's just an opinion. Does that make
Yeah,
sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So can there be,
So,
so justice is a moral word, right? That means making right.
yeah.
That's what the word justice means, to make right.
Yes.
So can you do that if there is no objectively right? Because that's what you said. You said it's an opinion.
I didn't say that. You asked me if people were acting in a terrible way and they think that it's okay to do that. Is an opinion. It's opinion because they're telling themselves that it's okay to do that because that's their opinion. That's what I'm basing that off of. Now, when it comes to justice, we didn't talk about justice at all, or like we were just talking about immoral nature of a person, and
But you said that's just an
and
opinion, right?
it's just opinion if they think that. That's if they think that they're because that's the word that you used was think. If they think that, would that be opinion? Is what you said.
Well, so like if I could, so the first example, dinosaur bones are real. If I believe they're real, you could call that an opinion. But the word opinion, I meant subjective, right? So dinosaur bones are not
Yeah.
subjective. They're real if I believe in them or not.
Yeah.
But whether I like chocolate or vanilla has nothing to do with chocolate or vanilla. That has to do with me, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course.
Is moral beliefs like the first one? Are there truths whether you believe them or not? Or are they like the second one? It depends on if you believe them.
Oh. Oh, that's what you're asking.
Yes. It's
Okay.
objective,
Uh,
subjective.
it, oh, I think morality. I think it's both.
Well, everything in a sense, so are dinosaur bones. Like if I don't believe them, yeah, I'm wrong, but I still don't believe them. But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
are moral beliefs like that?
Yeah, but you're creating a false dichotomy. Like you're trying to structure it only by that because when it comes to justice, it's really nuanced because it's there is a moral code, but the moral code is what's the word I'm looking for? It's based on rules that we design by ourselves because some things that because we talk about justice, some places they think is doing something is legal, but over here is illegal. Like some other countries, it's okay for you to beat your wife, but over here you can't beat your wife. Like
Okay, let's.
it's
That's a good
it's more
example.
nuanced than that.
Let's use
Yeah,
that
it's more
example.
nuanced than that.
So,
Yeah.
so they say other people say it's okay to beat your wife. We say it's not okay, and you're saying that those are equal, like chocolate and vanilla.
I wouldn't say that it's subjective. No, I'd say it would be what is it? I'd say that it's a gray area between the two.
Okay, let's see if we can work with that. So, you think there's a gray area and whether it's okay to beat your wife or not?
I'm not trying to say it like
Oh, okay.
that.
Maybe I
I,
misunderstood.
I'm just saying that you can't just put things into two perspectives because when it comes to justice, it's more than subjectivity and objectivity. It's more nuanced than that. It's based mostly on principles of culture, sociology, stuff of that nature.
Are those things well, so I know what you're saying that, but I'm not coming up with any of this, right? This concept has been in moral philosophy for millennium actually. Like this isn't some new thing that I came up with. So I'm trying to see how
Okay.
well you understand the philosophical debate on objective morality. Um,
Okay.
because you're saying it's nuanced, but and it's not that it's not nuanced, but the objective subjective distinction is not nuanced. And so what I'm trying to figure out is what you're applying to which. So subjectivity is not about belief. Belief is about each person believes something or they don't.
Are you
It's about
saying that? Are you saying that justice isn't nuanced?
so when you're using the word nuanced, I might be agreeing with it if you mean our ability to perceive properly what the correct moral thing is can be difficult. I agree with that. But I still think it would be true. It has to have objective truth to it to have justice. Otherwise, it's me enforcing my opinion on you. And we don't actually operate that way. We operate as if it's actually true. So if someone if someone in another country thinks it's okay to beat your wife, even if they believe it's true, I think it's still wrong, and I think they are wrong. That would be objective. Subjective would be say, well, in my opinion, it's wrong, but you have your own opinion. That's what subjective would be. And I'm saying, well, I'm asking you how you treat these moral situations. Because this is a common argument people have with whether or not you can have objective morality in a purely naturalistic world, or if God would have to exist. This is an argument that's also millennia old. So I'm seeing how familiar you are with these concepts.
Yeah, but like I'm saying, they would fit both of those parameters.
Can you give me an example of something that is both objective and subjective to see if we're using these words the same way? Give me another example, because we might be using these words differently.
Uh, because what is it? Let me think about this.
Because I like those things are opposites. I'm not sure we're using the words the same way.
Because when it comes to, because like when it comes to law enforcement, they use objective reasonableness, and what that means is you're using reasoning to your best of your ability to assess a situation and treat it in a way to where you feel that it needs to be treated. And then when it comes to subjectivity, it's what is it? When it comes to criminal justice or like justice in general, let's go with just justice, not criminal justice. But with justice, it depends on culture. Like it depends on a culture, sociological. It has to do with how people do things, what they think is right.
So, but that's like the same with music and flavor and stuff, right?
No, I wouldn't say it's that. It's because with subjectivity, subjectivity is based on how they see it. Because it's subjective because it's different from what is objectively true. Like
Well,
like
that okay. Let's try that.
the thing with justice, like we can agree that it's, every country has their justice. They do have some type of justice, like a police force or like a authoritarian style of defense. But then there's also the subjectivity as to what that certain justice or whatever they're doing is for, and how they do things.
I don't think we're using the words the same. So, objective and subjective have to do with the subject, which are people, and the
But
object, which is the content.
I know, but it seems like you're just appealing to definition more than anything
Well,
because
it's so we can understand each other.
no, I understand that, but I'm trying to show you that, or like I'm trying to explain to you that that using those it's more nuanced than that
Well, so
because
I
you can
hear you
say that.
saying that. I hear you saying it's nuanced, but I'm not really hearing. It's like so you don't have to commit yourself to answering something. I'm trying to see
No,
where we are on this together, so if we have common ground or not. And I'm not sure if I can't tell because like you say yes and no. So
yeah, because if you think it's objective, it becomes dangerous because of the fact that you can use that against people because you're like this is how it is, but
we
when it
already do
comes to
that today. That's literally what everyone does.
I
You even do
know,
you do
but
that, not just me, not just us. You do that too.
what do you mean I do that?
So you don't okay. You say you enforce it on others, and you're telling me you like okay. Do you never vote? You're not in the military enforcing like laws and customs. These all go back. How you treat people is what morality is. So like if you saw someone getting mugged, you don't intervene, or if you saw a baby in danger, you wouldn't intervene. Like these are moral decisions on how we treat other
Yeah,
people.
yeah, I use my moral values
Yeah, so you're doing the
to
exact thing you just said would be wrong to do. People, yes, they enforce
I,
their moral beliefs on other people all the time. In fact, you
I,
almost couldn't have any culture without it.
I, what you
Does that make
what you're
sense?
doing is, but it sounds like you're making a straw man here because that's not what I said. You escalated it to that, and I'm trying to explain to you as to what is objective and how objectivity when it comes to justice and how that applies. That's all I'm explaining to
So
you.
you said if people believed justice was objective, what would be wrong with that? They would do something? That's what I heard you say. Maybe I misheard you. You
Uh,
said if they
we'd be
people
igno-
believe, Go ahead and
Uh,
say it again so I make sure I heard you right.
so like when it comes to justice, it becomes dangerous when we ignore the power imbalance because there's a certain point where we do understand that doing something's we do know that something's terrible
Whoa, whoa,
because
whoa.
there's people.
I'm not going to let you have that. You said we do know something's terrible. How do you know? How do you know
It's
that?
because of how people react to stimulus. We know
It,
that it's terrible.
but is that just an opinion or is that actually true? That's what I'm trying to
That's
get to.
true. It's true because people do interact with stimuli. Like when it
Well,
comes
I
to
mean,
like
is what they're believing true? Is that just their opinion? So if their
we're,
stimulus tells them that something is evil or wrong, and they
stimulus is your environment and how the environment interacts with you.
so okay, let me. We're using a lot of words. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. So you have subject and object. A subject would be a person, and an object would be something other than the person. So we have that's how we construct sentences. So you have person, subject, and you have object, dinosaur bone. Person sees dinosaur bone, that's their stimulus, and they believe dinosaur bone is real, or maybe they believe dinosaur bone is not real. Now, dinosaur bone is real, whether the subject observing the dinosaur bone believes it or not. That's what an objective truth is.
Okay.
The subjective truth is subject tastes vanilla and tastes ice cream. Those are objects. But the enjoyment of the flavor, how good the flavors are compared to each other, there's no object in reality that says this is better than this. That's purely within the subject's belief.
Yeah.
That's called an
Yeah, I know.
opinion or a subjective belief. Okay, so we understand these terms, right?
Yes.
Okay, now what we're doing is we're going to take that concept and then go to a moral question like, is this wrong or is this good?
Okay.
The subject can believe it's wrong or believe it's not wrong. That's their belief. But is the truth of whether it's wrong or not, is that true outside of the subject or is it only true inside of the subject? That's the common thousands year old moral philosophy debate that people argue. And there's multiple sides to it. I'm trying to see where you land. And I know you're telling me it's
Okay.
nuanced. The nuance that is true, and I agree with you, is it's not always easy to figure that out. You're right. But that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is a philosophical question is there a true answer we can get to, even or not that we can get to? Is there a true answer whether or not we can figure it out?
Okay.
That's what I'm asking you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you land on that? And it's okay if you don't have an answer. If you're saying if you don't know, that's okay. I'm just asking you right now
Yeah.
because, like for me, I don't know all the correct moral questions, but I believe there is moral truth whether or not I'm aware of it. Otherwise, and the reason I believe that is because I don't think you can't believe it because that's how we treat people. Like I don't treat
Okay.
people as if their moral value is just an opinion. I treat it as if it's real. And I think what we do is what we believe. Like for example, I don't treat ice cream flavor or tasted music as if it's some objective truth. So yeah, we don't put well. So the point is how we treat the beliefs. If this is making sense. Now I know it's getting kind of late, so if you have to go, and I probably have to go in like 10 minutes, so I don't want to keep you too long. So just let me know if you have to go anytime. But that's kind of where we're at now. Where this goes and how it connects to God is the traditional argument is that if morality is objective, then that wouldn't be possible on a purely natural world for a lot of the reasons you gave, which are people are just have their own cultures, etc. There's nothing else independent of the subjects. But if we're saying the truth is independent of the subjects, that's grounded in something that's not in nature. And that's what theists just call God. That's just a word. You don't have to call it that, but that's what they refer to it as.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that's making sense. I know we kind of touched on a lot of points.
Yeah.
Well, if you want, I can let you go for tonight because it's almost midnight for me. But you can always message me, and if we want a second call, we can do that, or you can text me questions or points you have, and we can continue from there.
Yeah, because you got me interested because like when I was in the military, I did criminal justice because I was a cop, but that's the stuff that's the subjects that we actually cover as morality because we had to understand where we need to act and when not to act. And the only time that we were taught to act is if somebody is in danger. Like if if you know that somebody's in danger of their life and they're terrified, whether it's from somebody else or from like a fire stuff, something like that. That's when
Yeah.
to know when you need to act. But like it's also so like, but you can't say it's objective or subjective because what is it? Because what our moral codes like so because we do have people in our world that have narcissism or they just have like no empathy and with that in our world, like we don't know if that's right or wrong for them to have that, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To have that
I know
that
what you mean.
because
If you
that's why
want,
it's nuanced because it's a matter of opinion because people just don't understand as to why in our thought process it's evil but like but what is it if they think like that we can't necessarily say what they're thinking is wrong because that's their own perspective type thing, you know what I mean?
yeah, and that touched on a lot of points. I actually, if you want to, if you ever get a chance, I sent you an introduction to the traditional concepts. It's just the intro Wikipedia article, but the sources that
Okay.
Wikipedia quotes are reliable. So you don't have to necessarily read the Wikipedia article if you don't want to. It's just a summary, but you can go to the sources it references. But the
Okay.
moral philosophy on subjectivity and objectivity, if you're curious on what we've been
Oh,
talking about, I
yeah.
linked
Oh,
it.
it's, oh, see, it's Wikipedia. Nice. A lot of people don't use Wikipedia. They think that it's not reliable, but it does give sources. I used that when I was in college. I used the sources for Wikipedia.
Yeah, exactly. The sources are you can check those. That's mostly what I'm saying. But if you want to read the summary,
All right.
this subject is what I was talking about.